Yeah. I think the way that she'd spun it was it sounded like it was going to be like a dollar increase. And I think what she meant was $1 a fortnight increase. So, yeah, there was a communication error there. It was bullshit. But the worst part was I actually really liked my job. I found it like really engaging and like fulfilling and shit. I just hated like not at first. I didn't hate the people I worked with, but I grew to hate the people that I worked with because obviously like after the whole situation, a few people got replaced and stuff, and like the people that I then had were just the fucking worst, and they just at one point just made me want to quit, but I was like, I can't go back to not having a job. Like if I was looking for something, I could at least like move to a new job or whatever. But yeah, no, it kind of really sucked, especially when it got like really shitty and stuff, and there was a lot of like bullshit office politics and crap going on, just like petty shit. Like to be fair, I am also a like reasonably petty person. Like that time where somebody said at work that I could not possibly dye my hair white at home, and like they basically like kind of like had some kind of shit show thing about that. So I literally just went home and rocked up the next day with like fucking snow white hair because I'm like, I fucking told you so. Anyway, it wasn't ruined or anything like that. It was gorgeously soft and stuff and silky and whatever, and yeah, shut that bitch up. But anyway, like I'm the too, but like generally speaking, in a workplace and stuff, I still respect my fucking peers, and you know, I'm literally there helping them and stuff, and yeah, like I'm not gonna be up in somebody's face like that, you know. You notice the difference. You may notice the difference. Look, if she hadn't mentioned it, I wouldn't have noticed the difference at all. I would have just thought that that was like the same thing, give or take. You know? She's the one that saved them from embezzlement. Did you like it anyway? Yeah. Yes, this is why I had such a mental situation about my last employment, because I literally worked my ass off. I liked my job, but like I went above and beyond, and when my job during COVID became like too much for one person, I requested assistance. They hired somebody, but that person wasn't actually able to do my job. They just took on all the extra work that I had took on from, well, some of the extra work that I had taken on from like my co-workers previously. So they kind of took it back while I kind of like focused on my main role. And then, yeah, I happened to like notice all this shit in amongst it, and I was still like doing like a few hours of my own time after work, like staying back just to get like the shit that they were bitching about, like just filing and crap done that was like not as urgent as the stuff that was literally bringing in the fucking million and stuff. And I'm like, I'm sure that they could probably allocate somebody to file the papers while I'm literally trying to delegate workload to fucking 7 managers across like the top to the bottom of fucking Australia, and hundreds of sites and hundreds of employees and shit. And also making sure that any one of those jobs are issued out within the time frame, be it 2 hours turnaround, so that somebody's on site and cleaned up whatever it is within 2 hours, all the way up to like quoting in months and stuff like that. Like that's literally what I did. So yeah, I'm pretty sure I could have probably actually, in pretty much all the places I've worked, I've struggled to get like assistance in return. That's why I don't expect stuff in return from people. It's like I'm willing to help, but I don't expect to receive help in return. In fact, I'm genuinely not expecting it, because it's just what I'm used to, generally speaking. But yeah, essentially that one was kind of a shit deal, because yeah, it played on me pretty heavily psychologically, just because like all the stuff that I did, the stuff that I brought to light, they probably were a little bit annoyed. Like, not that they found that the guy was embezzling, but all the drama and court cases and shit that they had to go through was probably frustration for them. But at the same time, like, if I didn't point it out, like, the company went from, like, being in a situation where they were looking at doing cutbacks to they suddenly put on 350 employees once they kicked the guy out, and they basically like got all their sites like up to scratch with the correct amount of employees and all the things and stuff. So yeah, I would consider it, what I did was like good, but each their own, realistically, I guess. Give me that gross ass water now that I've healed up overnight, because I need to get us some stamina before we go anywhere. There we go. I don't know. After that place, I just couldn't do it again. Like, you know, it was so damaging to just give so much and then just be like kind of tossed out at the end of the day, because it's like after all that, they just didn't try to like keep the contracts for the sites that I managed and stuff. So yeah, they just opted not to have that. I don't fucking know why. I'll never fucking understand why. I think that's probably the most damning thing. And yeah, because of the fact that I basically like made the workplace super ultra fucking efficient, I made myself redundant by position of default, because like removing the contracts, I could have fallen back onto the workload, but the workload had been taken off me and allocated to the younger assistant and stuff. And ironically, she was actually paid more than me. I did the pay, so I fucking knew. And supers and all that shit too. So yeah, that was a bit of a kick in the teeth too when they hired somebody. But she had a degree, so you know, she'd done a degree, so she was entitled to be paid more than me. But still, yeah, that was a shit thing. That was probably one of the hardest things at the time too. Again, like, I try not to be completely fucking ungrateful, because like I had a job, and after like 4 years of unemployment and nearly dying and shit like that, like I just appreciated having some money that like I could spend for myself, and a job that I seem to mostly enjoy and stuff. Like, you know, apart from all the other shit. I should probably pick up some stones around the place. Oh, mate. That math ain't mathing. For what? For what part of that? But go for it. You can ask the question, Mop. What's up? But yeah, I don't know. I think that's why it was like so psychologically damaging, that place. It's just like, I don't know. And the worst part is like after it all, like towards the end too, I had my manager by that point was also like, I don't know, she was gaslighting the shit out of me too. So then by the time I was near like the end of my work, right, I was made to question everything I did, and like just, she would ask me something, I would write it down. This was the thing, right? I would write it down and she'd say, hey, can you do this for me? And I'd be like, sure. And I'd write it down, go do the thing, and I'd bring it to her, and she's like, that's not what I asked for. And I'm like, I literally have it written down. She's like, that's not how I asked for it to be. And I'm like, okay, I'll go back and do it again. Then I bring it back and it's done. And then it was back to the first version that I brought to her. And it was just back and forth like that all the time. And this is why I talk about like when people are just like damaging human pieces of shit beings, and you know, they just do this to people. I don't even know why. Self-satisfaction, maybe. Hire someone more expensive. Move work from someone cheaper. Yeah, I don't know. I think that they had hired her with the view that she was supposed to be able to assist with the job that I was doing. So they hired somebody with a higher level of qualifications, so that she might be able to take on that, like at least share the workload. However, they refused to get, what do you call it? Whatever the fucking program is that allows you to have two people access Excel spreadsheet at the same time. They refused to get that, and therefore she couldn't access the program at the same time I was accessing the program for data entry of like record keeping and shit. So therefore, records won't be kept, or they were getting duplicated and shit like that. And it very quickly became a mess. So they refused to get whatever that was. I don't even know if that would have been expensive. Probably not. But yeah, because of that, she ended up doing other stuff. A lot of the time, like, I know she was young, so of course, like, I'd give her training and guidance. I literally made, what do you call it, like, manuals and shit for how to do everything that I did. And it was fully detailed, like, step-by-step stuff. So, like, she never would have had to have asked me a single question. How fucking detailed it was. And yeah, she obviously just couldn't, I don't know, couldn't pay attention to what she was doing when she was doing it. And I'm not like shitting on like, oh, she was new, young, never done it before. She'd had family business experience and stuff. So she'd been working in like the back of like her family's company for ages. So she had substantial experience for her age, but yeah, just couldn't kind of like, couldn't focus in and shit, you know? So, you know, what I've heard from everyone around, if you're optimizing or, God forbid, automating your job, you better keep it to yourself or at least have some sort of kill switch that makes you important or you become unnecessary for the company. Yeah. Yeah, that's basically it, especially if you're in like programming and shit like that or any kind of that. Your best bet is to put a kill switch into the back end of something that you have to kind of like trigger or something like that or get a response with like every so often, like once a year or something. That way, like, if they decide to steal it or if they decide to fire you and take your shit for whatever reason or, like, you know, take your program and not pay you, it will automatically terminate and therefore they won't actually be able to use it and stuff like that. But in person, sometimes that shit can be a little bit harder to hide, especially, like, if you take a company from, like, basically the Stone Age of, like, hundreds and hundreds of files, like literally they had so much room they actually just got like a huge fucking, you call it like a conference table for 12 inserted into the room that was originally their file keeping place. It was a stupidly useless big table too. They use it like twice a year, once for Christmas and once for something else. I can't remember what. So it was like so stupid, such a waste. But still, in person, it can be a bit hard to kind of like cover that shit, but some people literally like hand off some of their workload to like other, like they hire people underneath them and stuff like that to do some of their workload so that they can focus on stuff, and they just pay them a lesser rate and stuff like that so they still make a profit, but like they don't have as much workload and they have more time, and there's all sorts of ways to do this stuff. But yeah, essentially, if you make your role like redundant, in my case, which I kind of did by basically making it so efficient that it only needed one person to run, yeah, I basically sold myself out of a job. So when, of course, they decided not to have the contracts, obviously, if they had kept the contracts, like, it very easily would have just kept going, because like that, like 2.5 million was like the last year that I was there. It probably would have like doubled again easily. They would have been able to have like at least like, I don't know, they were looking to like upgrade all their equipment and shit, and I'm like, I just didn't understand why they didn't want the contracts if they wanted to upgrade all their cleaning like equipment. That shit's expensive. Like, you know, the what do you call it, the fucking machines that like strip and buff fucking floors and or carpet shampoos and all sorts of stuff, you know. It's just expensive, especially for like a lot of people and stuff, you know. Efficiency in a company, unacceptable. I don't know. I feel like companies, as soon as they get their hands on somebody that's like really efficient or very hardworking, it's an exploit. Like, they don't generally care if like they've got like a few other people that just do nothing. Like, as long as whoever does the bulk of the load never takes a holiday. That was the other thing too. That's why I never felt like I could take holidays, and this is why as a streamer I've struggled from the very beginning. When, if you look back at like my schedules and stuff like that, I never, like, once I set my schedule, I never missed them as much as I could, except for every so often on a Wednesday I was too sick to make it and stuff. But like rest of the time I was here. And like, I think Shadow, you said at one point that when I took a holiday the first time, you said that like you kind of had taken for granted the fact that like I'm always here, I'm always live and stuff. And then all of a sudden I just wasn't for a week. Like, not saying this in like any kind of a mean way or whatever, it was just like the acknowledgement then that like, yeah, like the consistency and stuff. Like, I've been less consistent in like the last 6 months and stuff because I keep missing Wednesdays. Ideally, I'm technically streaming like 4 days a week. 4 and a bit days a week is the average, I think. But I'm not too stressed because I either do random game night or take that day to rest. And I know you guys understand if I'm resting, I'm not crabby. So it's good. Make it semi-automated and make sure you own whatever process program you make. Some companies do that whole, like, if you make it while in their employment, they steal it shit. That's where you want, like, the kill switchy stuff. But then you got to be really careful about how you go about it, too, because you don't want it to come back as, like, some kind of legal backlash thing for sabotaging their business or something. Some kind of bullshit, you know? Pretty sure that's just wrecked over here, and if it is, I'll just sell some crap. Let's see if I can maybe... I'm not going to afford a gun anytime soon, but we'll see. Proper way to make the automation program of your own outside of company time. Important, license it and sell it back to company. Every other similar one. Yeah. That's the point. That is how you do that. Is you basically make a product and either you sell it to your company or you sell it to a competitor. But it's not their product to have and sell and own and stuff. I'm going to have a little root around here because I reckon if I could find like a decent weapon, I could make a spear and stuff, but I just want to find resources, you know. Include what Mup said, yeah. Yeah, basically. I can't take that rock. I want to take that rock. It's just such a stupid spawn because it will do this. Can't take it. So, ugh. Well, it's a standard of consistent work and what dangerous and unhealthy at the same time. So, what? That was dangerous and unhealthy at the same time. So I'm happy to see it's taking breaks now. I know. Look, I'm getting better at, like, I know this sounds weird because, like, I literally in the streamer, I can choose when I stream and stuff. But, like, I'm getting better at accepting that it's okay to miss a day once in a while. It's okay if I need to have a sleep instead of, like, streaming, even though I said I would stream and stuff like that. Because I'm very particular about, if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do that thing. So, you know, and yeah, it's a lot of, like, integrity and honor system kind of stuff, you know. And yeah, so it's very hard to, like, fall short when I've said I'm doing something. You know, because, like, for me, it's a little bit of guilt, but I know you guys are very, very supportive and accepting and stuff and understanding and whatnot. So my mum is a bookkeeper. Not sure if that's the right title, but she does the important numbers. And she made these Excel files that takes input, spits out the complete stuff, and family company owns that and rents out usage for companies. Yeah, I know how to do that too. That shit's so good for, like, so many fucking companies. And yeah, it is the right title, more or less. I don't know specifically if that is her official title or whatever, but yeah, it's right title for it. Because yeah, I did bookkeeping, record keeping and stuff too. Which, honestly, all the shit that I have done is very useful for streaming because, as you guys know, like, obviously, like, I, like, record all my stuff, basically. Like, I have to record what I do on the average day, what I earn when I get a payout. If I get gifts, I have to, like, list them, and, like, if I how many hours I stream for, how often I stream for, all sorts of stuff. And I got to keep that shit accurate because I've got to obviously do, like, tax appointments and shit. But then also from, like, I don't know, record keeping, like for this event, like, hold on, let me just sit here for a second. I will see if I can bring in, I'm not going to bring in the entire Thon spreadsheet, but I'll show you guys a little, like, snippet. No, not that one. The other spreadsheet that I've got open. Where did that go? There, that one. I've got like 3 spreadsheets open. I'll see if I can capture this window. It might be a little bit easier. Hold on. No capture. So from my standpoint, I'm not going to save this one in here. I just want a quick automated one. I want not that, no, that one. Yeah. All right. I don't know how well this is going to be able to be seen, but hold on. Let me get. I need you to come down here so that I can bring you up bigger. This is literally like the event record keeping stuff. So I have, for instance, this is for this Thon, right? So I have what date it is, I have what game it is, I have my what do you call it? I have my stream title, my go live message, my message to pin to chat. Then I have obviously all of what I do in and around stream recorded, and then I have a separate spreadsheet from this for like hours and all sorts of stuff. But like going backwards, like there's days where I've had days off, and like just there's heaps of this. Where are we? February and stuff. So yeah, this is the kind of stuff that I do. This is like, I wouldn't call this shit my bread and butter, because fucking nobody wants to be eating that shit. But like, that's like some of where my skills and shit lay, is extremely fucking good record keeping. And I'm very detail orientated about like all my stuff. So yeah, like when I say that I spend 4 hours streaming, and you know I spend like 8 hours after the stream working on something, that's the kind of stuff I'm working on. Like, not necessarily that specific thing that I'm working on, but like I could be working on multiple things. Like for instance, the updated artworks and the updated goals and stuff for this event that I worked on this morning probably took me a couple of hours, because I didn't correctly save my goals the first time, so I had to recreate new ones.
Yes, you need to buy something.
You know, the image that I posted this morning in Discord and stuff, like that I made fresh this morning, took a couple of hours. Then there's obviously like posting shit like that across like all my socials and like wording it, and yeah, it's a lot of work. Like obviously the average streamer may not even do any of this shit, but I do. Like I have like fucking hell, hold on, how big is my documents record keeping folder for this, for streaming? Mind you, I don't have too many things in it. I've got 100 gigs of spreadsheets and Word documents and stuff related to record keeping for streaming and content creation and stuff. And yeah, that's over from when I started streaming in November 22. So it's not too long. I don't think you buy seeds. But yeah, it's a lot. Like the average streamer does hit the go live, does a stream, bucks off, like at the end of it, and it's like done skis, you know? That's fine. And it's perfectly okay for somebody to be like, you know what, I don't want to do all this stuff, or even just like upload entire VODs and stuff like that to YouTube and stuff. Like, I'm not like hating on or calling out like low effort stuff. I'm just saying like, it's perfectly okay to do that stuff, especially like if you don't have the time or the desire to like look into stuff. But yeah, I for sure fucking have put some I have put some serious fucking hours into myself. This is why I don't have free time to just like play a lot of my games outside of stream, or like chitty chat sometimes, or all sorts of stuff, right? It's when I say I'm busy, that's what I'm working on usually. Or I'm like hand drawing something that's going to become like a artwork for stream or like an emote or like I'm organizing something. Like the best part is I can do some of this stuff from my phone. So I can literally just lay down on my bed, like belly down on my bed and just like sit there and like essentially look like I'm doing a text message and I'm literally just organizing like an event. Like sometimes I'll be thinking about this stuff in the shower and I'm like, I really need to set up a recordable situation when I'm in the shower so I can just talk out loud while I'm showering. Because at least then like, okay, it sounds a little stupid, but like at least then I have like that spare time. Because every time I get in the shower, I think about the fucking Diablo 2 playthrough that I'm doing, and I'm like, man, I want to write that down. I want to write that down so people can like do the playthrough to themselves. Because some people really want that, and I'm like, yeah. Anyway, some people really want it, and I haven't got it written down. I'm like, the only time I really think about it is when I'm in the fucking shower. And I'm like sitting there and I'm like, by the time I get out of the shower, I'll have moved on to like several other thought processes and I won't be like remembering this stuff, you know. But yeah, that's why the other day when like Rin was asking about like when I have ad breaks and I've got to edit those out of like the VOD and stuff, like yeah, I have like a million things to remember at once, and I find that like writing everything down just fucking helps. Writing down as much as I can. I could hear one of you crawly dudes out here. I just don't know where he is. You don't know me. I might eat that. Fucking hell. You probably would. No. That's so mean. Yeah, no, I don't know. Actually, I think not so much like the nerdy aspect, but I think you'd probably like the studious kind of like, what do you call it? Like recordy sort of keeping aspect to somebody, like the intelligent sort of side of it. I see it just as like a, where's my flag? Oh, it's over there. I see it as kind of like a record, what do you call it? Not record keeping. I see it as, come on. Oh, no, we got the flag. It's all right. We figured it out. I don't fucking know what it's on about. It's fine. It's not stupid when it works. Yeah, that's the thing though, isn't it? Because like, you know how I said like, when I write my books and shit, I can't type as fast as I can think and speak. So when I write my books and shit, I just put on speech to text and I just open up a program. I've even got my computer set up to be able to do it too if I really want to. And I literally just set it up and then just like dictate the entire story to it. Just make sure it keeps recording it during it. And then at the end, I just go through and I clean up the formatting and grammar and shit as best I can with my like fucking education and shit. And yeah, I then have a book. However, it doesn't take me very long to get it down, written down and shit, because for obvious reasons, spoken. It would probably take like half an hour or something in some cases, like get it all down. But then it takes me like 4 hours to like edit it, or sometimes even 8 hours if it's long enough, and then like format it and everything to like proofread it and shit. So that stuff can take a while too. But yeah, art's the one that slows me down the most out of all my fucking skills. Like my art skills, drawing has never been fast, and it's the only one that like is painfully slow. Only because like I'm a fucking perfectionist about it, and at least with like emotes, you don't have to be a perfectionist because everything gets tiny, so it doesn't matter as much if like a line is perfectly exactly where you want it to be, but it's still very hard to like accept that and leave it be. There is an appliance place, there's a post office, there should be, I don't want to go to the military base, but there should be like a gun place around here somewhere. I'll see if I can find like somewhere to eat. Get some books first. You're being mean. Is still the nicest of, what? You're being mean is still the nicest of other people. What? I understand that you're saying that like I was referring to it as being mean, but oh, you mean like my level of like being mean to people is still like most people's like being nice. Yeah, no, I got it. Oof, got there in the end. Yeah. No, it's all good. I figured it out. No, it's fine. It's fine. That was more of me understanding it and stuff. But it's not far off. I'll be honest, it's not far off. It's like, generally speaking, like, I don't think I've had like an encounter where I'm like, oh, hey mate. I don't think I've had like an encounter specifically where like I'm being like unbearably rude. Like sometimes I feel like I'm like a bit short-tempered or something like that, or a bit like I could have waited a few more minutes and then like just like dealt with that. But then sometimes things are time sensitive and you just gotta go with it. Go with whatever the first thing is. Oh, mate. Well, at least he got out of there. He must have come off the roof. Got like 4 hours in him. I just want to try to find some food place around here. Oh, man. There we go. Ah. Alright, let's see if I can find some like food or something. Well, this place has it, but last time I went in there at a low level, it was bullshit. I don't want to set off the car. This is a cafe. I know where I am, by the way. This is the same map as my regular game. It's just that, yeah, I happen to be kind of like just buffing my levels. How am I going for that too? Oh, wrong thing. Well, that would have actually told me anyway. Oh, that's right. I gotta make clothes. God, that shit is horrifying. I love this game. We went from like pixelated creeps to like, now we have like ultra realistic and it's horrifying. Challenges window, maybe. Yeah, I've got a few things there. I want to make clothing. Some primitive shit. Yeah, I kind of like forget that when I open that up and we've got like whatever. There we go. She's a lot less naked now. I still don't think that's a great improvement, but it's something. Now, if we got food in here, quite direct, and some people treat that as rude. Like, how dare she don't lie for the sake of my feelings. They're wrong though. Yeah, no, I feel that one. Because, yeah, in most cases,